Grandpa, what do you call this thing again?
It's a 66 Ford Bronco.
I think you got ripped off.
Why is that, honey?
It's got no Wi-Fi, no USB port, no Bluetooth.
Exactly. I guess we'll just have to talk.
Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
Is that the window button?
It's called a window crank.
Cool. The faster I move it, the faster it goes down.
This moment of escape was created by Haggerty.
Being old is kinda cool, Grandpa.
Works for me.
For people who love cars.
Welcome to RCS. I'm Nick.
I'm Dan, and we're broadcasting live from my kitchen table again.
It's on a lake, so we're good.
It's a pretty view tonight. The fog cleared.
We would do it on the dock, but it might float away.
And it's freezing.
Yes, I know. I rode the board here.
You did?
I did.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, I rode the board down here. And we'll see. I've got the lights working again, so we'll see. I mean, I know I can get home safely. Like
I can drive you up the hill.
No, I'll be fine. I can get up the hill. It's not about that. Like, and I got all the front lights and back lights working, but it'll be interesting. So, and I brought a jacket, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're still brought to you by Avance, Haggerty, Carter Subaru, and our friends at Drivers Club, who we miss. We're looking forward to get back to after they reopen back up the showroom there.
Someday. No.
Damn COVID. And yes, we have guests coming. We have worked that out. We had to kind of shift everything around because,
yeah, we're shifty like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, do you want to come to my house? We used to do that a lot. It
yeah.
used to work pretty well. We knew
come
those
to my
guests
house.
better.
Yeah, is what it was. Yeah. I mean, I've been looking back on that. Like, in fact, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but we had somebody we hung out with this weekend. He's like, I remember sitting in your kitchen, and I'm like, good God, has it been that long?
Yeah.
I have to say this to you, because I'll forget it. We were going to talk about it, but we were on the drive this weekend, and I was sitting talking to some people there, and like, I love this when this happens. I really do. And we're talking, and I don't even know what happened. We were talking, and somebody goes, wait a minute. You're Nick. And I go, yeah. I'm like, we've been talking for 15 minutes. He goes, no, you're Rain City. And I go, yeah. He goes, oh. And he goes, so that would make, I go, yeah, that's Dan. Oh. I was like, I know we have a face for radio, but that's the way it goes. So
I had somebody, so let's start into that. Well, actually, let's do our Carter Subaru tip of the week. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode. We got a lot of feedback on it, but it was actually pretty positive, which I was expecting more pushback for some of the more generic products, but I think people understood where we were coming from. So I appreciate the feedback on it. It was great.
I think that's interesting in the fact that, we posted something like 2 weeks ago. You posted something 2 weeks ago, and we talked about our list, which caused a huge...
It was a good discussion.
It was a great discussion.
Yeah.
There was things, and and I think the episode, we just sort of vocalized everything we said, which I think helped. And coming into this season, I think a lot of people in the last 2 weeks have gone out and bought some recovery gear. And things
I know
like that.
I know a lot of people who have said they have. They've messaged me saying, "Hey, I got this that you guys talked about.
That's
I got
awesome.
this. I went to Mule," which we really appreciate you guys supporting small businesses right now. It's this lockdown sucks for them. It's like I can't drill that into people's heads enough. This lockdown, I understand the health side of it, but this is a killer for small businesses. Please, please, please support small businesses like Mule, HKP Customs, anybody like that. Just please support small businesses right now.
It's important. I mean, they can cancel Thanksgiving or Christmas, but boy, they didn't cancel Black Friday. That's weird.
It is weird.
I'm just going to leave it at that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. What's our Carter Subaru tip of the day?
Our tip of the week.
Tip of the week.
Too. Totally off, totally off topic from the things we've been talking about. I had somebody message me the other day and ask about car covers, and so now I know way too much about car covers. But
you could never know too much.
They were looking for an outdoor car cover for this time of year, and one of the things they said that they had trouble finding was that all the outdoor car covers are not waterproof; they're water resistant. And I was like, "That's weird. Why is that? Right? Like you would think that would be an essential thing." Well, dug into some research. I talked to the guys at Covercraft, actually, just sent them a quick message and actually responded. So the reason almost nobody out there makes a true waterproof car cover, it's not like they could. They could just a tarp that fits would be a waterproof car cover, right? Well, but the reason they don't is because they mold almost instantly because you're just holding all that moisture in under the car. And because the cars are metal, like they just naturally pull moisture out and you get molding like within a day. Like
That's
you'll get mold, mildew on the car almost instantaneously. So they're all water resistant, and some of them are very water resistant, and they breathe pretty well, and they'll push a lot of water out. But think of it like Gore-Tex. If you have a good pair of Gore-Tex shoes, they're almost waterproof. But if you push down on them really hard or press into them, that's when you're going to get that seep through. Well, cars, if you get them under snow or a lot of water where they have just natural crevices by the windshield and fenders, things like that, well, that can soak through. So that said, you don't actually really want a waterproof car cover because you'll just get a bunch of mold and mildew. You do want water resistant. Covercraft, Cover King, a bunch of other brands out there make some pretty good ones.
What's wrong with you people? Put your cars inside. Don't you love your cars?
Right. If you don't have the space for it. So they're mostly designed, though, to be like on for a night, then taken off.
Yeah.
So for outdoor storage, man, there's really not, that I have found, a really great solution when it comes to a car cover. What you want is one of those like tent up garages or one of those inflatable car things.
Those are cool.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff, but they're not cheap. And there's just no really good way to house your car covered outdoor without building one of those structures around it.
I mean, I first started to learn about that when long before we did this, because Mark Green from Cars, I think it's Covercraft is a big sponsor of his show.
Oh, okay.
And he had talked about it long because he has an E46 M3 that sits outside. Mm-hmm. I would too with that Porsche inside, but but yeah, I think he would talked about that too. But I don't know about the details of it as far as, but I did not know that.
Yeah. So basically, you don't really want an actual 100% waterproof car cover. You'll just get a bunch of mold and mildew into your car. You'll ruin your seals, and you never want that. Also, one thing to keep in mind, go back to a few episodes, well, not a few, quite a few episodes back, we talked about this does increase your rodent problem. By the way, if you cover a car, you've made the perfect little insulated space for rodents to live, so make sure you put a bunch of dryer sheets in there. Anyway, it's your Carter Subaru tip of the week. If I find a good cover, I would love to get somebody on from one of the car cover companies to talk more about it. It was kind of a cool thing to rabbit hole to go down. There's a lot more technology in those than I thought.
Yeah, it's the one I've got for the Triumph actually was given to me by Shannon Lowe.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's an inside cover, but yeah.
Speaking of local business, Shannon Lowe, Authentic Motor Cars, previous guest, good guys. If you need something obscure work done.
So this is we're gonna go a little bit local here and a little bit car local, and there's gonna be a little bit of bragging, but I don't mean for it to be that way. So a while back we had Alan who runs Forza Turn 10 Motorsports on, and I had joked about the fact that at the time he didn't tell me, and even though we talked about it, that they were partnering with Lego. And when they partnered with Lego, I made this post that actually did pretty well in the fact that I had the Lego Ferrari F40, and I held it up in front of the screen. I'm like, I finally have a car that's in a video game. Well, I'm not you and I are not huge gamers. Like, I can't sit in front of a game. I just, it's not my thing.
I play casually. I'm not a hardcore gamer.
But I have all the Forzas. I have Forza Horizon and all that. Well, I follow them on Facebook, and there was they did a teaser. It was about a week ago, and they said for singers everything is important. They recently, one of the car giveaways was the 911 reimagined by Singer. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Dan and I got to see this car delivered to the owner on the stage at Pebble Beach. So I spent some time this last week really playing Forza Horizon 4 just so I could win this car. But it was just sort of a cool. It's interesting in the fact of to see something and then you see it in the game. It looks better in the game. I'm not gonna lie. They do a wonderful job, but you can't see the leaded glass like you can in real life. But yeah, it was kind of a neat thing. I mean, if you're a player, I know it's it's funny because I haven't been on that game in a long time, and going on there and going onto their marketplace, like the auction sites on there, like. It's serious money. Like, people are trying to sell these cars for it. It's like, so, yeah. I'm not that good at driving, so I had to just go buy it. So, yeah, we'll go like that. But, yeah, kind of an interesting thing.
That's really cool, though. The Singer was beautiful in person. It's cool they put
it. It's incredible. I mean, and if you're not a gamer, and I get that, but to be able to go into a game and see a car that looks like it's literally sitting in your living room is incredible to me. It always has been. So, yeah.
Yeah. Always impressive with Forza. We had another fun weekend up in the snow. A little more challenging for a lot of different reasons. Namely because we had 22 cars to start, I think, ended with 18.
Did we have that many cars? Wow.
They sort of combined. There was that Toyota group we let pass that got stuck. That was kind of funny.
They were mad because we wouldn't let them pass. We let them pass, and then they caused us nothing but problems. But, yeah.
They did all right. They just, I think, how do we say it? They quickly got in over their heads too, and they were well prepared. So, but up there,
some of them were,
yeah. Well, like our group, there were some of us were, and when you're in a good group of prepared people, it's fun to challenge other vehicles. So, I mean, we don't want to discourage people who aren't as well prepared to go with people that are, because that's half the fun. In fact, don't take your car off road with street tires. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Like, I don't. I mean, we had somebody in our group that actually did
decently well.
Yeah,
I mean,
one
minus
little
ground
spot.
clearance.
Yeah, the ground clearance was the real issue there.
Yeah.
It wasn't really anything else. So we had a Explorer ST, which is actually
nice ride.
Yeah, really nice ride. Those things are great on the street. I am a fan of those. I really like
Did you
those.
see the interior of that car?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everybody's taken from Tesla, but now we've just got the giant tablets in the middle. It's really, like, and the funny thing about it, I talked to him. He was not a Ford guy. And in the last year, he bought that, and he bought a GT350. So he's going full Ford.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a nice car. They're fast on the street too.
Yeah.
And it did, reasonably well because I guess this could be another. We've talked about this, so it's not really a tip of the week. But all-wheel drive does really well on ice, better than four-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is just usually better at containing traction on ice, not deep snow, not off-road, just in ice. And so he did really well on the way up because we had enough cars in front kind of scraping the road down so he could get clearance.
And we were technically first, second group to go up there that morning.
Yeah.
So.
And so we went up, what's the name of that road? It's off of...
it's not Tincamp.
No, it's across the street from Beckler up by Skycomish.
It starts with a T, I think.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Okay. Yeah, it's Tonga Ridge.
Tonga
Ridge.
Yes,
is
Tonga
where
Ridge.
we
Yeah.
were. But luckily, we had Brandon Ben Powell, who's a previous guest on the show with the Pinscour, which you Instagram fans might know as Sarpins. Very popular vehicle all over the place, not just here.
Great rescue vehicle. Yep.
Yeah, and we weren't worried about getting stuck. Let's just put it that way. A few of us did, and that was fine. Thanks, Brian.
Well, okay. So I got stuck. Well, let's just get that out there right now.
Real stuck.
Well, some was Brian's fault. Some was my fault. We had stopped at the bottom of this little thing. We were going to go up a little bit. A bunch of us had kind of decided to go down. Some of us were going to go up, and I went up, and I was up there playing around on this hill, which was funny to me because it wasn't icy when I went up there, and I don't. Did you ever actually go up that road at all?
I did.
Okay.
And I backed down probably three-quarters of a mile.
Okay, well then you got to see all the stuff I was cutting down to. There was a bunch of stuff that was overhanging the road, and I'm just like, it was touching my car, so I knew it was. So we were screwing around up there having fun, and there was another couple gentlemen up there, and I came around a corner, and all the Toyota guys that had been in front of us, that had gotten in front of us, were massively stuck, and to the point where they had flipped a vehicle around, and they were trying to pull one out of the ditch, and it was causing a bunch of issues, and so which caused a whole domino effect of us trying to get out of there and turn around. And I was kind of the last car to turn around, and I thought, I had a Brian turned around behind me, the Jeep turned around behind me, the other Colorado, and they had made a nice turnaround area. And I thought, in typical Nick fashion, I'm just going to back down slowly, and I'm going to back rear end to where they turned around, and I'm going to J turn it, right? Well, yeah. I J turned it right into the snowbank. And then I'm sitting there taking direction from Brian. He goes, go straight. I'm like, I don't think I can go straight. Just go straight. You're fine. Just way into and I got so stuck. If you haven't seen the video, that I was literally pulling the Pinscour up the hill as he was trying to pull me out. So
the Subaru turned into a giant snow anchor.
Oh God,
it was
yes.
really entertaining.
Yeah. Which was, we say this all the time that we don't say it, but it's kind of the thing that happens. We go up in the hills to rescue people.
Yeah,
because we know it's going to happen. It's half the fun. I will say this: I wouldn't go up there for the next few weeks because everybody's up there getting Christmas trees. And
it was a S show. Yeah.
We passed probably 40 cars going down.
Yes, that's not an exaggeration.
No.
Not at all. We passed literally probably 40 cars, and in fact, at one point we had to pass about 15 at once. Which, if you're trying to manage a group of 18 vehicles, is what we ended up with going down. And you have another 15 coming up. You can imagine what a single lane, snow-covered road where you can't pull off to the side is like.
And that also being said, I don't get that in the fact that we had planned to be out of there by 3. We were coming down at 4:30. It was getting dark, and they were coming up.
Yeah.
And all of them were, the best word I'm going to use is well lubricated at the time. Yeah, and some of them, and I want to say this too, because Brandon Ben Powell brought it up to him. If you're stuck and then all you're doing is basically tearing up the environment. And don't stop it. You will get things closed down. There was a gentleman up there who we were admiring. It was a really cool rig.
It was a cool rig.
It had no body panels, but he got in a ditch with 40s.
Yeah, 40+ inch tires on double bead locks
with no traction on them, and he had gotten stuck in the ditch and had torn it up to the point where he had really torn up the hillside.
He's ripping through roots and trees, and which off-roading's fun, but that's how you get stuff shut down. It's not just the littering and stuff like that. It's when you damage the environment around the road. That'll put a gate on a road, and I'm all about having fun. I hope people have been out with us know we'd love to have a good time. We like to recover people. It's fun to go up there, but man, don't mess up the environment. especially here of all states, of all the states. I mean, maybe Oregon's worse. I don't know, but
we need our places to get the hell out of the house right now.
Right,
up in the mountains. Yeah.
We don't have a lot of off-roading left, and this is exactly what gets roads shut down. So please don't do that.
When we started this, I didn't intend to talk about that, but I think it's important.
Yeah.
You just really gotta, one, don't go up there alone. Two, if you're gonna go up there and you get stuck, this car that had been blowing up the ditch was doing it to have fun. I mean, and there was 4 cars around him that had a winch that he could have gotten out of, and so it was just pointless. But if you've never been up there, it's a really fun, pretty road. I mean, we went a lot farther than we'd ever been before. I went up there with Brian about a year ago, and we didn't get that far at all. But it was a lot of fun up there.
Yeah, it's really pretty up there too. You get up to those ridges, you can see all over the valley. It's beautiful up there. This is on the way up to Stevens Pass, by the way. So
yeah, basically when you pass Skycomish, that chevron, and you go up about another mile, there's Beckler on the left hand side if you're heading east, and then about another half a mile is
whatever road that is that goes to Tonga Ridge.
Tonga Ridge. It's Tonga Road. Oh, it's not. You're right. It's Sky Ridge Road or something like that. Yeah. So, but it's a lot of fun up there. But be prepared that it is
icy.
It's icy, and I mean the ruts right now are to the point where, like, coming down, I didn't need to steer the car. My Subaru, even with the 10 inches of ground clearance, 9.5 that I've got, it was bouncing around. So
then there's me just clearing the sides with my fat truck.
It was actually interesting following the Raptor down, because all the snow adventures in the Raptor, I've been with you, and watching that car kind of go down there, and like there are places where my back end would swing around and yours would just sort of push through the snow. It was just so much more weight. So
a lot of weight up front and really wide tires.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a good time for our first break. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
We spend an average of 8 hours and 41 minutes a day facing screens. Laptops, smartphones, tablets, even digital refrigerators. But what are we really connected to? Isn't it time you connected to something greater? Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect. This moment of escape was created by Haggerty for people who love cars.
And that's the 3rd time I got frostbite. So had nothing to do
squat
with this
so much when you pee.
Well, look, I'm top heavy. Okay, we all know that. So speaking of that, like up there, like we were on there were sheer cliffs on both sides. Like it was like, I had to do the whole like open your back door, open your front door kind of thing to create my own stall.
Yep.
So it's fun. I think these adventures wouldn't be as fun. They are fun, but I don't know if they'd be as fun if, like, the fact that we weren't kind of sort of confined at home. Like, any chance to get out of the house and get out there. And I mean, I was really surprised that some of the views we saw and some of the pictures. I'd never been up there, but it was just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, we got a shout out to Mike Gatch Photography.
How is he not frozen?
I don't know. So that's the most dedicated photographer in the world.
He spent maybe we went up. We were on the trail at probably 10.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't come out till probably 5.
Yeah.
And he spent most of the time in jeans in a snowbank taking photos, or in the back of a truck. I don't know how he's not frozen.
I don't know.
I know he lives in the Midwest.
Indiana,
Jeez, like, God, man, I don't know. Photographer popsicle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We had a lot of new drivers with us too. I wouldn't say new drivers, new to off-roading. New to snow off-roading. And it's a different game. There's a lot of people that realized real quickly that they said for themselves that they were in over their heads, but I'm like, no, that's how you get practice doing this. Like, nobody there was a real problem. I want to encourage people to just, it's okay. It's okay to be new. We've all been there. Please, you had plenty of people around you that wanted you to be there. Everybody who wants to go, find a group like ours. There's plenty of them around. People are always asking on Avance Off-Road, saying, hey, anybody want to go here? Anybody want to go here? And just say yes. If you're new, see what recovery gear you've got. Go up, get stuck, get out. It's half the fun.
That 4Runner was nice.
It's pretty.
She's learning, and she's doing good.
Yeah, she's doing great.
But that's a really nice build she built there. So
yeah. We had Amanda and Juan in their black. They just got a Grand Cherokee. They just put new tires on, and that was their first adventure in snow off-roading.
Yeah,
we had a bunch of new people that hadn't done it before, so it was really fun to have new people get up, and nobody had any real problems. I mean, like I said, they had the one Explorer ST that got stuck, but
I don't think
that was
minus us, those of us that got purposely kind of stuck up top. I mean, but
yeah, it was a pretty extreme situation.
Yeah, we did. It was a really
just fun day.
Really good day.
I'll tell you what, though, I will never mock anybody who brings a grill along to one of those things ever again.
It is so funny because I went was it Friday or the day before, I went and bought new hiking boots because I didn't have them.
Yeah.
And I was down at REI, and REI's got these whole new things. The stairs, one stair up, it's the whole thing. And the stairs going down were closed or whatever. And so I downstairs, and I was looking at the classic green Coleman 2-burner stove, and I'm like, boy, that'd be fun. Maybe I should get one. And I was seriously thinking about that. I'm like, oh no, I don't know, I don't need it right now. But then we got up there, and you came over there, and you're like, I need to get a grill. And I'm like, and when it turned into this whole like maybe Amazon will drone it to us. And, but really, it would be really nice. Like even have the single burner.
Yeah, we were up there for probably a good hour waiting for people to get unstuck and just kind of laughing and having a good time talking to each other. And I was like, man, if I had a grill and like a pack of Costco dogs, everybody would be way happier up here.
Yeah. I think that's the next thing on my list is I'm going to get the green grill. I actually found it on Amazon really cheap, and I'm going to find I brought this Coleman stackable ice chest. They're old school, but a friend of mine gave it to me, and it was kind of nice. It was perfect size, So it's got to the point where I think I have the recovery gear I need, or I'm with the right people that it's time to start feeding me. So
yep, I got a whole bunch of gear to get this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
I got to get it. Yeah, it's gonna be a game changer with the Raptor.
You gonna go down and back in a day?
Yeah,
nice.
Yep. So
cool.
I had a friend help me out, so I'm gonna get a ton of new gear on the Raptor, so we can do some real off-road stuff, which is where we get the Raptor very stuck.
Yeah, because the Raptors just had so many issues that it's.
That's actually what I'm worried about, though. Kind of like the Pinsk or any other vehicles, the Raptor does exceptional in snow, way better than I think anybody expected. And it's one of those things where if that thing gets really stuck, you're going to be really stuck.
Yeah.
It's
tall enough you can get under it. Okay, when we stopped the first time, when I was parked up on the side there, and Brian took off, and he instantly buried it in the ditch. What?
He was just playing around.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, how did that happen?
He was just yeah. That's half. Like we said before, half the fun. Brian Elish was leading, and Brian from a previous episode, he works at Lee Johnson Chevrolet. Great guy.
He get a new toy this week? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
He did. His C8 should have been here. I'm going to say he's telling everybody so I can say it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he was telling. Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah. So he should have his new C8 Corvette. That'll be a good topic to discuss. Yeah. But he was playing. He was the one leading the drive. Did a great job. Thanks for playing that again, Brian. Not intentionally, but he was trying to see how deep he'd get in the snow.
Oh, okay.
Which required a little bit of a yank backwards with the Raptor, but no big deal. It was fun.
I didn't know what happened because we were all getting ready to go, and all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, Brian's in a ditch," and I'm like, "How did he get? Like he's 15 feet from us. How did he get in the ditch already?" So,
he just took off and tried to see how deep in the snow he could go, and just quick recovery.
Too deep. Okay.
Yeah. He quickly found out this is a lot slicker than I thought.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good places that are up here. And I will say this, like 2 weekends ago, I went over to Leavenworth, and it was a lot of fun. And the Leavenworth, I mean, if you're looking for a drive, I mean, you can take I-90 over and then go over 97. Yeah. Leavenworth right now is really hopping.
Yeah.
All the restaurants, they've closed down that main drag where you usually park, and all the restaurants have their outdoor seating and stuff like that. So if you're looking for something to do.
If you're in a tent, you can't get COVID. Okay.
I'm a little confused on how you actually do get COVID, but okay. So yeah, you're gonna turn this into a political show because I'm like,
no, I just like my snide comments on the side there.
My biggest problem is like, I tend to, and Sean and I were talking about it, like I tend to get out of the car and I was going to Home Depot. I went and got a Christmas tree yesterday. Mm-hmm. Well, I have to go everywhere, by the way, which is tough. It's so tough being me. And I kept getting out of my car and forgetting my mask. And like 3 people were like, "You need your mask." I'm like, "Oh, dude, I'm in the middle of a field full of Christmas trees. Come on." Like,
don't cuddle me.
I know, exactly. Don't cuddle me. But I don't know why all of a sudden I'm having these brain farts about my mask. But yeah. So.
I'm still not used to it. I was try and have one with me, and I have like a backup one in the truck because I forget it in my pocket, switch sweatshirts or something. But yeah.
I forgot it in Home Depot, and they have ones that they'll give you at the door.
Yeah.
They don't fit around my head. Like literally my face was like, "Oh my, this is fun. Oh, this is a great that." But yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of our last episode though, before we move on, so I made a page on Rain City Supercars. If you go to raincitysupercars.com, you'll see a little there's a new header and a new page for the off-road gear list. So you can go up there, and as we go along, try out new gear. We got some new video gear. We're gonna start doing that, so we can do some gear reviews.
I also want to say, if you have some gear that you're using that's on our list that you like,
yeah, please
tell us
about
it. Yeah, tell us about it, because if it's something that we can go out and try, or we try your gear. Like, we try not to. We don't put our name on these things, but it's stuff that we use. This is. We're not sponsored by these people, so
yeah. And I am a consumer whore, so yeah.
Oh, okay. That's too easy. That's way too easy. Yeah. We're actually going. We've been talking about this. There are some bigger announcements that are coming up yet that hasn't been quite pinned yet, but we're going to start to do some videos. We're going to start doing some smaller videos and things like that. Some definitely some videos of our drives and things we do, but we want to do one coming up with a buddy of ours about a car build, and we think it would be kind of fun to go online and do the configurator and kind of go from there. So we'll see.
That'll be fun. Did you catch? No, you didn't catch it, but you saw the highlights from the Formula One Bahrain race, right?
Oh, this girl is on fire. I don't know. I watched that. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch I don't know if the race actually finished. This was at the start.
It was red flagged. No, I think Hamilton won the actual race.
Yeah.
But it was Grosjean crashed lap one of the race. Full tank of fuel. He got clipped by another car and then straight into a barricade.
Which, if you watch the video, I think his steering snapped because his wheels are going straight and he's full lock to the left. So. Yeah,
Romain Grosjean. He hails the Halo as the greatest thing in F1, says CNN. And after seeing that crash, that probably saved his life.
But if you actually listen to what he said, he was not a fan of that Halo when it first came out. So
and
you talk about a convert.
I am wrong.
Yeah. If you look at the car, it was split in half and on fire. But they were pulling him out of the car. He was jumping over the rail, which I was glad to see. And they were dousing him with fire extinguishers. And I'm like, the dude. I can tell you, the dude's not on fire.
He came away with minor to moderate burns, I guess, is what he ended up with. His hands actually burnt the most. He was wearing, obviously all their gear is flame retardant. But yeah, you should just look up Formula One Bahrain crash, and it will be across everything. It was on every news channel, whether you like Formula One or not. So it was pretty hard to miss. But man, I'm just glad. I can't believe he came out okay. Like it looks just devastating to look at.
You look at the crash, and I was talking about this too with Dan. Like, I've always looked back on Dale Earnhart's crash, and I've always thought it didn't look like it was a hard enough impact to kill him. It's these crashes.
Yeah.
But you look at this crash and you go, like, you can't even see. Like, so his capsule with the Halo device detached from the car. And because of the flames and everything, you can't see where it ends. And actually, in the film that they show of the rescue people coming in, he's jumping over the barricade through flames to come to them. So I will be really interested to see. I'm sure we'll get more photos of the car as the days progress, but it's pretty impressive when you think about it.
Yeah, it's an amazing crash. I'm just glad he's alive. I mean, it looks like looking at I still can't believe, just looking at the photos right now, I can't believe he's alive. It's just, there's so much fire, and he literally walks through it in his flame retardant suit. Thank God for safety, because, man, even 10 years ago, he would have been toast.
Well, we've talked about that Halo device before, and I think, again, I'll never fit in an F1 car, so I won't really know, but I wonder, some people have said, I wonder if it just kind of goes away in your field of vision.
Yeah, I think it's like windshield wipers.
So?
Eventually, you just kind of phase it out. It's just you're in the car so much, you're used to looking at it.
So it's just sleep.
Yeah, it just becomes something not inconsequential. But man, glad he made it.
Speaking of seeing, did you have trouble seeing when we were coming back through Monroe and all that on Saturday?
Yeah.
That was like
thick fog. Yeah.
Thick fog. Like, I was driving back. We went back through Duval and stuff like that, and I had my full light bars on and was still having trouble seeing. So
yeah.
It's getting wintry out there.
Speaking of which, I went for I ended up washing my car here, by the way, because every other car wash was either cash or closed. So after we go off-roading, it's kind of like just in the best interest of the vehicle, I go wash it off afterwards. I don't give it like a full wash. I just go to a car wash and I spray it off, get all the excess dirt and sand, especially when you're up there. It's a bunch of sand off the car. Yeah. So, but one of the things I did before I went up is I washed the truck. I actually did get it clean, and then I sprayed the whole thing down with the Griot's 3-in-1 ceramic cleaner wax.
Yeah. That helped?
Amazingly.
Okay.
I haven't washed it since.
Oh, okay.
I literally just sprayed it off. I did the whole truck with that stuff, and there's only a few spots where I could tell I missed, but the rest is like clean enough to where it looks like I didn't even take it off road. Literally just sprayed it off. I can't believe how well it worked.
That technology is so cool. I mean, you guys all know we're a fan of Griot's. We've used it for a long time, but That product is really cool, and I think, in fact, actually watching you and I were watching Nick's video a couple weeks ago. I think they're coming out with a bunch of other products with so that'll be kind of interesting.
Ceramic everything.
Interesting. So, how many bottles did it take to cover that whole truck?
Actually, not many. I just gave it because I was going off road, I wasn't doing the full thing. But I just gave it a quick spray down each side and then the hood and stuff over the paint protection. But it worked so well. I'm doing that every time. That was way easier cleanup than before.
Oh, good. My car's really dirty. I have to come down and clean it. Well, I mean, we do from time to time go blow it off. Like I said, I just couldn't. We were coming back that night. I was going to go blow my car off, and I could not believe how dirty it was when I got home. Like I was cleaning it out. I'm like, jeez.
Well, the road we chose to air back up on, I don't think it could have been in a dirtier spot.
No,
ever.
It really couldn't have been. But I find it funny because then we drove a quarter of a mile down the road and it became pavement. So good to know.
Yeah. So that's a shorter episode today. We've got we're back to our guests and everything else coming up for the next few weeks, kind of getting back into the rhythm of things as we adjusted to the COVID lockdown and the fact that we didn't want to be in a small room with somebody we didn't know. So
I don't have a problem with it. It's just, other people do. Well, yeah, actually we've got, the next 2 weeks should be good. If everything plays out the way it should be, next 3 weeks should be really good. Should be really good. Good shows, kind of getting back to it. As always, if you're interested, you've got a story you think you'd like to be a guest, call us. We're always open to that. We know it's tough right now. Like we've been sort of delaying guests because of COVID. It's been tough. So,
yep. The only thing I've got to add, the Avance calendar, so far the 19th is still on. I don't think that'll be a go. He hasn't canceled it officially yet.
What is the 19th?
The off-road.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we have our monthly off-road events, which
December. That's right. Tomorrow's December.
I know, right?
It's already December when you hear this.
Right, yeah. So all the other events have obviously been postponed due to COVID because they can't have a group event. But the online club is more active than ever. There's drives happening. It feels like every day off-roading on the street on that.
It's very interesting. A lot of the off-road community, like that Washington State off-road or Overlanders has been huge, is blown up. Avance Off-Road, all these things. People are really talking, and there's a lot of groups. There's a lot of check into these groups, especially Avance Off-Road. People are doing drives all the time. Yeah, they really are. It's funny because and I think it's a blessing. But when Dan and I go do drives, like this was Brian's drive this weekend. Yeah. Can't how many people have messaged me afterwards like, why didn't you invite me?
Thanks for the invite. I'm like, wasn't
my drive?
Event?
Yeah, I was laughing. I wanted to send Brian a message because somebody sent you a thing afterwards. You're like, thanks for the drive, Dan. You're like, it wasn't mine. I want to send it to Brian and be like, welcome to my world. Dan's podcast, Dan's drive. So.
Yeah, that was a really fun event, though. I can't thank Brian and Brandon enough, though. I'll tell you what, when you want to clear a trail, there's not a lot better than a giant search and rescue vehicle with with yellow flashing lights and loud emergency horns and a PA system.
I want those lights.
That was one of those things where I was like, I never thought I would have use for those. I really want those.
It makes a lot of sense. Like as much as I love my front lights, the LEDs or the light bars, you blind the person in front of you. But he has basically safety flashers, but it makes it really easy for people coming up the trail to kind of see that something's coming.
Yeah, and it lets them know to get out of the way if you're coming down, which, I'm going to do that. Like I said, my lights are going to be installed on the front, on the lowers. I'm going to get the pods for the Raptor down below.
You're going to do those pods?
Yeah, just because it's the most functional place for them. But I'm also going to do the grill one, and I'm thinking the grill one, instead of going for a light bar for visibility, you can hide one behind the grill.
No, yeah, Clark's got one like that.
Clark's got one on his.
But I didn't know with the intercooler, moving the intercooler, if that can still go there.
HKP says they can build me a bracket that'll just move it up and high and tight.
I know for a fact they can build you a bracket because they built me several brackets. So,
yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm going to have them do one, but I don't think I'm going to go with the spotlight. I'm going to go with the orange or the yellow strobes. I'm going to go with the safety lights. They're just, for that purpose, they're way more functional. And considering where we go all the time, I was like, you know what? I kind of was like, that seems overkill. Not for Brandon because he's search and rescue, but for another vehicle, I was like, nope. That's not impractical at all. That actually is really your purpose.
I think it would be really nice. Like when we were on the side of the road airing up and he had them on, it made it, even with everybody's headlights and all that, it makes it real nice, especially something rear facing. We should look at we should ask him about something rear facing for yours. So
Yep, I got the retracts on the way, and I might do a rear bumper for the attack angle, which I'm talking about, but mainly because now I can hide lights on there. I'm like,
Well, also we can. I mean, depending on. I know you got a rack for the bed. We can hide. They can hide lights up there.
Yeah, we
can too. We can hide lights up there too. So
yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I didn't think about the rack is the highest point, so that makes sense.
Up high where people can see them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So. Well, for this episode of Rain City Supercars, I'm Nick.
I'm Dan, and don't just get there. Enjoy the drive.